we're going to talk about a very important topic, which is voter participation. And we have with us three representatives from a great organization right here in the Pitt County area and the surrounding areas. We have a guest here today, Mr. Marcus Thompson, and we'd like to introduce him and then allow him to introduce his two guests with him today. Hi, Marcus. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good, good. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and then introduce your two guests?
Absolutely. So, my name is Marcus Thompson. I am the regional managing organizer for an organization called Democracy NC. Democracy NC is a nonpartisan nonprofit that fights to protect voting rights and to make sure that the political process is open to all people, especially people who historically have been disenfranchised. We say we want to create a government that truly is of, by, and for the people. And so that's the work of Democracy NC in North Carolina. And with me today, I have my summer interns, Nakeisha King. I'm mixing up people. So you got Nakeisha King and Kenna Peterkin. See how that happens? But yeah, so we've been saying their name all summer long, but summer's still new, so we make some mistakes.
That's right. It was just the first day of summer, June 21st, right?
There you go.
There you go. It's so wonderful to have you here today because we love that you bring joy to your work, and we love that you bring these wonderful ladies with you here today because the work that you do is so important. Democracy and voter participation and voter rights, we know that it's a very important thing, and we understand that it impacts every aspect of our lives. Mm-hmm. But just for our listening audience, could you delve into a little bit about why Democracy NC is in existence and why voting matters?
Yeah, so it would be nice if our political process was such that, you just have these elections and people just participated and everyone got equal access and it was just perfect. It was just like the founders, intent. Well, actually better than that. So that would be perfect. But unfortunately, we know that history doesn't work like that and people don't work like that. So in North Carolina, historically people have been disenfranchised. Certain people have had their right to vote precluded, eclipsed, what we call suppressed. So we're here to try to make sure that those people have their voice, that we fight for their voice, and the voice of all people, because we realize that our democracy really doesn't work unless all people have equal access to it. It doesn't really work unless it's really for all the people. And so we want to make sure that as best as possible that we can fight for policies and procedures and for people to have equal access to this democracy.
Wonderful. And can you talk a little bit about how Democracy NC got started?
Yeah, so we have our history in the civil rights movement. So like with SNCC, so our founder is a guy named Bob Hall who recently retired, and he, worked back with the civil rights movement as they were coming up this way, like SNCC, and then Democracy South was the organization that was founded to try to fight for voting rights and fight for just the rights of people in this area in general. And Democracy NC is from those efforts, and so that's so we really feel like when we did our look at how we got started, we feel like we are, the next coming of the civil rights movement. Those are our ancestors, those are our founders, and we're part of that same wave that started back in those days.
Wonderful. So I see you have two young people here with you today. Please introduce them again and tell us a little bit about some of the work they're doing this summer.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'll let you ladies say your names. And then, so one thing I would say is they're working on this campaign called For the People. And For the People, I'll let them talk about the different campaigns. But again, we got Nakeisha King, who is from right here in Greenville, right? So she is a native daughter of this area. And then we got Peterkin. Can I say your name right?
Kenna Peterkin.
Did I say it right? No. Anyway, so yes, her from, I don't know where you're from.
I'm from Eden, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm. But both of you go to ECU?
I'm a student at ECU.
Mm-hmm. All right. So tell us about the For the People campaign.
Okay, so one of the parts of the For the People campaign is the redistricting of the maps. So we're trying to get a citizen-led committee. It's important that we have the citizen-led committee instead of having our lawmakers do it, because sometimes when lawmakers are in charge of creating those maps, they can tend to do it in a biased way. So having that citizen-led committee would kind of remove that issue.
So another aspect is restoring our last Saturday for early voting. So as of right now, you can only vote on weekdays from 7 a.m. through 7 p.m. And this disenfranchises students, people of color, middle class workers, a large demographic of North Carolina. So restoring this last Saturday will allow those people to vote at those times and allow everybody a voice in this democracy.
I often like to stop right there and just emphasize that she just said that we don't have that last Saturday that we normally have during our elections. And, this year we've got municipal elections, so some people say, well, maybe it's not that important. Municipal elections are important, and turnout in those are very important. Those people really have an impact on your life. But they're also not available in 2020 next year. So we need people to know about this and to start to make changes, to tell your congressmen, your state representatives that we want to get this Saturday restored because it's very important for to allow, as she said, to allow people to have access to the vote.
And then another part of the campaign we're working on is with felonies. So after you finish your sentence, your probation, and pay all your fees, you are actually allowed to vote again. A lot of people don't know that, and it also can become confusing for probation officers and the individuals themselves. So there's a bill that we're looking at that would make it so that those people couldn't get charged with a second felony just for misunderstanding the law.
Okay, very good. Thank you for describing that to me. Again, we're here with Democracy NC, 3 of its representatives. We've got Marquez Thompson, we've got Nikasia, and we've got Kenna here talking about voter participation, something that impacts everyone. And Nikasia, you had, and Kenna, you guys were talking about some initiatives that Democracy NC is working on this summer. One being making sure that redistricting is citizen-led and not led by the politicians. And of course, we were talking about as well second chances for those who may be convicted of crimes and things of that nature. And then we had a third issue. We're talking about restoring Saturday voting. I know for me, I work every day from 8 to 5, and getting the opportunity to go vote is a challenge. So having that Saturday voting would definitely, I believe, increase voter participation for everyone. So it sounds like you guys are doing some really great work in this area. So can you talk a little bit about some of the initiatives and some of the strategies you're using to kind of put forward those particular initiatives?
So one of the things I'll let the interns talk about some of the work they've been doing in various events or whatever, but like coming on TV is a strategy to let people know about what's going on. So we thank you for letting us do that. We also were on the radio recently, and we do a lot of outreach to churches and whatnot, and our partner organizations. So we got like the NAACP, we've got Common Cause, League of Women Voters, and another thing to keep in mind is that of course we're here in Greenville now, but we are the northeastern region, so we're all up in Rocky Mount very often, and it seemed like we were in New Bern every day this week almost. So I'll let them talk a little bit about that. So so we have a number of strategies depending on the area, but we always want to engage the churches and the faith community, and we always want to engage those people that are already affiliated with politics and our partners, and make sure that they have the information so they can get it into their networks. And so how have you been having fun in your outreach? Like, you can tell the truth because we in a church network here, so you can say the good and the bad. I'm joking. Say the good.
I've been having fun. So just meeting with community leaders and people who are already involved in organizations. I think it's very fun. It's very important that we contact those people and let them know new information that they might not have known, so they can get it out to people in their organization, and those people can let other people know, so that way we can get the word out and get our last Saturday back, because that's one of the things we've been trying to get people to sign the petition that we're actually going to take to our representatives this week, to let them know we want that last Saturday back.
As Kenna said, we have been working to get people to sign that petition, and I've been having fun as well doing that. That's basically what we've been doing, especially this week, and of course other weeks as well, but in New Bern, making sure that when we went to the Young Urban Professionals event that we had them sign our petition there, and when we went to New Bern for the Juneteenth event, having people sign the petitions there as well.
Everywhere we go, we'll have people signing petitions, So we'll probably have we'll be showing up at your house with a petition. You people out there, we'll just if you see us, you're gonna get a petition. So no, but you can go online actually at democracync.org, and all the information about our campaign is up there, and how you can sign that petition and other things that you can do to get involved, which I can talk about more since I'm just.
That's wonderful. That's good. That's really good. And I'm glad to hear about some of the strategies that you're utilizing to further these goals and objectives, because what it sounds like is you can't do it alone. What it sounds like is you need the participation of the folks out in our listening audience, the folks that you guys touch every day. You need their voices, because collectively we can push the agenda to get some things to happen. And so what it sounds like is that in order for us to get these good things to happen, in order for us to restore that Saturday, in order for us to make sure that those who may not have a perfect background, criminal background, still have an opportunity to participate, we need everyone's voice that says, yes, I agree. Yes, I believe that this is something that's good, so that when we bring it forward to the legislation, we have an opportunity to say, hey, we've got this collective that's behind us, and it's going to be for all people. And so I really appreciate that. And it takes folks like you doing the good work that's willing to sacrifice your time and your energy. And I'm so happy to see the young people involved. Yes. So can you tell us, what year are you in college? Are you graduates, or what year are you in college?
So I just graduated from ECU in May, and I am going to go to graduate school as well. Yeah.
Okay. What are you going to study in graduate school?
Sociology.
Sociology. Wonderful. And yourself?
So I'm a rising senior at ECU, so I graduate in May.
Yay. Good. Yes. So why did you decide to get involved with Democracy NC?
For me, I did some protesting and stuff on campus, but with those, I felt like the impact wasn't very lasting, so I was in search of trying to find a lasting impact, and then I got the information about Democracy NC through my department, and it just seemed like the perfect opportunity.
Mm-hmm. So that's the same for me. My political science department, they sent this email out. So I also was involved on campus. And then I was, as young people, we're always involved like online. So we always tweeting something, we always have something to say, but nobody wants to go out and physically do the work. So I saw Democracy NC as a chance for me to go out and physically do something and make a lasting impact that I can look back on when I'm older.
Great. So Marquez, I know you're always excited to have these young people on board.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you get a chance to influence and to hopefully, mentor them. And you guys, with your energy is what we need, because again, it takes a lot of energy to go out and talk to people and try to persuade them to see things in a positive way. So you guys are doing a great job. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
And we look forward to having you as future advocates.
Yeah.
You guys are the individuals that are going to be the lawmakers in the future. You're going to be making these rules. Exactly. So you're getting your foundation.
Yes.
Now we can remember President Obama. He started out as a community organizer.
Exactly.
So you guys are doing a great job. So Marquez, what is a day in the life of a Democracy NC advocate? We know that you guys have these initiatives on board, but what are some of the things behind the scenes that you do to kind of push these initiatives forward?
Okay. So there's a lot of pizza involved. That's
you got to stay nourished.
right. Yeah. No, but I think sometimes a little too much. But no, we so a typical day is we'll have events set up almost every day, or people who we're meeting with. So we're either going to like an event where we can talk to masses of people, or we're talking to leaders or community members that can help us to get access to other networks. Okay, so we'll either be doing one-on-ones on a typical day, or sometimes a little bit of both, or planning to go to a large meeting where we can have a larger impact, or we'll do a lot of strategizing. So nothing happens without planning first, or nothing happens well without planning. So we need to know, where we need to be, what tools do we need to have, what are our talking points, and because we're in a lot of different areas, we know that certain messages go better in certain places. So, for example, we talked about a lot of things. We know that Saturday voting affects all, but that felons' rights issue is going to strike some people as more important than others. So some people we talk about the online. So another aspect of our program is fighting for like online registration or universal registration, that kind of thing. So some people that they're more geared toward that. So it's knowing your audience, knowing because democracy and the political process affects all issues, right? So we can go talk to everyone, and every issue that's out there is going to in some way intersect with the work that we do. So it's just up to us to plan out how do we emphasize those intersections and make sure that we let people know that their issue is our issue and our issues is theirs, so that we have a stake in each other's work. And that way we can, everywhere we go, we're talking to friends or potential friends in every room we walk in.
Absolutely. Well, that sounds like you're doing a great job as well in working with the people and understanding the issues such that you can go out and be a galvanizing force. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, we try.
Yeah, I know I've had the opportunity to volunteer with you. I've passed out a couple of petitions and overcame some of those hesitations to go up and talk to strangers. So that's been a great opportunity for me. There may be some folks out in the listening audience who are also interested in being a part of this good work. How can they get involved?
So one of the easiest things you can do to get involved with Democracy NC, I guess the easiest is to go to our website at democracync.org. There you can find all kinds of tools. You'll find that online petition that you can sign, but you'll find information about upcoming events. Again, tons of information about our democracy and how you can get involved, things that's happening. It might be calling your representative of the night. But another very concrete way you can get involved here in Pitt County is to come to our coalition meetings. So every fourth Tuesday at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, that's located at 131 Oakmont Drive. That's right off of Charles Boulevard, right over there by that big gym that changes names. I forget what it is now. But we're right in that section. So 131 Oakmont Drive, the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. On the fourth Tuesday at 6 o'clock, you can come to a coalition meeting. And at that coalition meeting, you'll find all kinds of people. You'll find like the heads of organizations, like the vice president of NAACP comes, like sometimes the president. You'll find, heads of these organizations there. But you'll also find just community members that just are concerned about our democracy and want to lend a hand. And we learn from everyone. It's a coalition. As you said so eloquently, we can't get this work done by ourselves. And so we come together and we talk about all the issues that are facing us in Pitt County and how we can push these issues for how we can make an effective change and a good strategy to move together as a coalition to affect our democracy for the better, but also to affect various issues that we might need to work in coalition about. So it's a wonderful time. That's where the pizza comes in, because that's right around dinner time for a lot of people. So we'll have pizza. Sometimes we'll have subs there, from time to time, and we'll always have like salads and stuff. So we try to have a little bit of healthy stuff, but most importantly, we don't come for the food. We come for the fellowship. We come to work together to try to build something better in Pitt County.
Great. So that's the second Tuesday of every month.
The fourth Tuesday.
Sorry, the fourth Tuesday. That was my fault. The fourth Tuesday of every month at the Unitarian Universalist Church on Charles Boulevard. Okay.
Well, it's on Oakmont, which is right off of Charles.
Right off of Charles.
Yeah, it's so close to Charles, you can like throw a rock and hit it. And actually, tomorrow is going to be our meeting, so you can come out tomorrow if you're seeing this. Well, I don't know if I should say it. Right, yeah. So that's what, the 26th? Today's the 25th, right? So the 26th. You can come to that meeting at 6 o'clock. They're going to be showing a film, actually, called Rigged. And it's talking about our political system and how a lot of these processes are rigged and what you can do about it. So that's going to be kind of a fun day. It's not a usual meeting, but before and after, we'll get a chance to talk about the issues of the county, and then after we'll talk about that movie and how we can put those issues into place, or put those strategies and tools and tactics into place here in the county. So it's going to be a great, we'll have, I think, popcorn and some stuff this time in addition to our normal food. So we'll make it fun. But that's part of it too, is we always are trying to have fun because it's about people. And people, and we want the best for people. That's why we want our democracy to work. We want everyone to be happy, and so we work to try to have a fun environment and a family environment.
Good. Well, they certainly have the right person in charge.
Well, thank you, Denisha.
Absolutely. So if you want to join that coalition meeting, definitely come out on June 25th. It's going to be at 6 p.m. at the Unitarian Universalist Church on Oakmont Drive, right off of Charles Boulevard. Okay, so definitely come out and join the coalition to see how you can get involved. Quickly, we have a few more minutes. Just tell us a little bit about why you decided to be a part of this work. We can start with the young lady at the end and then go around.
Okay, cool.
I think you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but if you want to just reiterate some things, that'll be great.
So when I was on ECU, like I said before, I was involved in some protests, but I didn't really feel like I was making a lasting impact. So I thought that Democracy NC would be a great way for me to make that lasting impact, actually going out and doing the work and talking to the people instead of just making kind of like a moment. Yeah.
So I'm kind of the same. So I'm actually going to school. My major is political science. So I'm hoping to go to law school afterwards, after I graduate. So when I got the email from Democracy North Carolina, I saw it as an opportunity to do something else than law. I can still do what I want to do, make a difference with law, but I thought I could make double the impact if I do both. So that was another reason why I decided to go ahead and send in my application for Democracy North Carolina.
And thank you for that. And I remember when you guys were talking earlier, you were saying that you were ready to work and put some boots on the ground. I was just like, oh yeah, I forgot you felt that way. So that's always good. But so I always early in my life I thought that I was not supposed to get involved with politics, and I won't get all into the details. But then I had a sea change. I had a revelation that, you know what, it's okay to work for the betterment of people. So, because what I would thought was you had to just try to help people get into heaven or get to know God, and that was the focus, is try to get people's eternal future right. And who not who cares, but almost like who cares about what's happening to them right now, right? And I just got revelation that no, Christ cared about people right then, right? He wanted people to get into the kingdom of heavens, but he also wanted them to be healed from what was ailing them right then. He wanted you to give to the poor right now. So once I came to that revelation, it helped me to understand, okay, I can make a difference right now, because I really did care about people. I really did always want better for people, especially my community where I always would see so much suffering. So I was like, okay, I can help right now. So then you ask the question, okay, so then what's the most good? What's the best good? How can I affect the most change? And one of the things that you learn, that I learned early on, is that there's nothing in America that the people don't have the power to change. There's nothing going on right now that's just the way it is. There's nothing that's happening in our community that we have to take it the way it's coming at us right now. We can change everything through our democracy. But what you learn very quickly is that our democracy has been altered. It's flawed. It doesn't do what it's supposed to do. It doesn't allow people to handle it the way they're supposed to. So I said, if we get that fixed, if we make sure that our democracy is working right for all people, then some of these other problems that come down the line, we can fix those too. Because there's no reason why we have to have the crime that we have in certain communities. There's no reason why we have to have the poverty in our community. If you look at the basis for these things, it's not in the sinfulness of people. It's not in the people making bad decisions. It's in policies that are in place that need to be changed. Well, why can't people change them? Because of the political system is not open and accessible to people. So when we get that right, we can handle so many more problems. And so as the two ladies, and I really appreciate what you were saying about wanting to have lasting change, because you can come and listen, you can donate money and you can do all kinds of stuff and fix problems for a short amount of time, but unless you change the system, unless you change the structure, that problem's coming back. And so the number one thing I thought I could do was, if I can get this democracy to work right for our people, then we can fix those other problems. And so that's why I'm so passionate about democracy and about the rights of people, because I really believe that we have the power to change. There's no reason why we have to deal with the problems that we're dealing with. It's just because we don't, as a people, understand the power that we have. And so I dedicate myself to making sure that you've got the power to change your life, your government, your situation.
Well, amen.
Stop preaching.
No, that's awesome, because again, it's for the people, of the people, and by the people.
That's right.
So we, the people, have the power to make the difference.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm about to say amen again. Thank you for that. And thank you so much for joining us today. We certainly appreciate you taking the time out of your busy organizing schedule. I think you guys are going to be in Durham for the rest of the week.
That's right.
Great, great. And in Durham, you're going to be doing some training or?
Yeah, and some lobbying. So you are really good at this. Which I mean, I know you're good at everything that you do. But yeah, so this next week is what we call DIM Summer Midpoint. So we all come back together. They do get some additional training, and we're going to lobby our politicians in Durham, in Raleigh, about this For the People campaign. Let them know that we want that Saturday restored. Let them know that we want to draw them. We want the people to have the power to draw the maps. We want these things for the people, and we want to know who is for these things and who is not, so that we can praise those that are on our team and are for these issues, and that we can hold accountable those that are not. And so we are very thankful to have our young summer interns to help us with that process and to have that youthful energy. It's really going to be something. So that'll be Tuesday.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Nikasia. Thank you so much, Kenna.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, Marquez, for joining us today. It's been a pleasure to talk with these individuals about the importance of democracy. And one thing that I'd like to share with our listening audience is just to remember that it starts with you. It starts with you participating in our government and being a part of the solution. Until next time.